I'm going to do an impromptu video on being with sensations. So a lot of times people will talk about, and my cat's going to join me, a lot of times people talk about just feel your feelings or be with what you're noticing, feel what you're noticing, feel the sensation, feel the blockage or the charge, the contraction, the sadness, the anger, whatever. There's lots of different ways that it's talked about, or referenced, I should say. But it seems harder than it winds up being harder than it sounds. Or like the invitation is, well, just feel it, and then it's like what winds up happening is that we're unable to just feel it because we're with all the Velcro or all the attachments to that feeling or to that sensation. And it just becomes too scary, too overwhelming, too threatening to even approach the sensation, to connect with it. And it might start off like, okay, I'm going to feel that sensation in my chest, and then attention goes there, and then it's like, subconsciously or whatnot, fuck no, like this is, I'm going to go take a shower or go do some yoga or do something else, which is completely fine, But this video is to talk about kind of a little bit of how to lean into the discomfort, because that's kind of what it is. It's a willingness and ability to lean into the discomfort. And as we all know, our culture does not encourage leaning into discomfort. It kind of encourages doing anything but that. So mind can mirror that. Mind can be like, oh yeah, let's just do something different, or da 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 da. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little kind of a live demo. I've just woken up. I don't really have anything on mind, but I'm sure I'll find something, and I'll just demo it. So that you can see kind of one way to gently and slowly go into a sensation that might feel a little bit unnerving or uncomfortable or threatening. So you can do this anytime, anywhere. You can do it in line at the grocery store. You can do it at the stoplight. You can do it while you're driving once you get used to it. You can also just do it in meditation, so you can do it, sitting with your eyes closed. In the beginning, it's probably the easiest because then you don't have as much data coming in. With the eyes closed, the data is a little bit less. So you don't have to close your eyes, but you can, and you can even experiment during an exploration of a sensation, opening and closing the eyes. But I'm going to close my eyes just for the sake of that. So, and again, ouch, my cat. Hello, baby. The breathing is a really useful tool to connect with while exploring a sensation, but there's not a right or wrong way to be breathing either. So, just do kind of what feels useful for you. I tend to do more nostril breathing, just because that resonates for me. Mouth breathing can also activate the nervous system. So if you have a heightened nervous system, then mouth breathing can just exacerbate that. So I tend to nose breathe, but I'll be talking during this, so my mouth will be open. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of start by just kind of taking some deeper breaths and feeling into the space of the body, just to see what's here that I might want to connect in with. And let's see. Kind of having two sensations that are coming into my attention, my chest and my throat. my whole system's online here, so it's now I'm noticing a lot of sensation throughout my whole body. It's hard to pinpoint something, so just for the sake of this, I'm going to do the throat. So to start off with, I'm going to be dialoguing this out loud. However, you can just do it however your consciousness does it, however your attention does it. It's useful for me to notice with detail what it is that I'm experiencing. So that's with my attention, to very subtly and curiously connect with what I'm noticing in the area. So in the throat, I see subtle images. It's useful to often notice the images because that's the Velcro, that's the stuff attached to these sensations that may be seeming to create the sensation or create the threatening bit of the sensation. So I can see the sensation, I can see the image. And actually the image is gone already. So for you, you might go, oh, okay, let me just check out that image by itself first. Be curious about that image itself. And then you can check it out. There's different ways to explore images. You can also just notice the image and then how you're experiencing. So the image would be the what am I experiencing? How am I experiencing it? Feels like this, whatever that thisness is. So the image is gone, and now I feel a little bit of it's actually down in my heart now. So the sensations move down. I'm just going to follow my attention. So it's pinpointing here. I don't know if you can see me. So here. It's kind of the middle of the chest. My hand just went right to it, and you can do whatever feels good to you. So I'm just going to explore the sensations. Now I've got the sensation of my hand on the chest, and then I'm going to go underneath that to the sensation where it seems like in the space of the body. Oh, kitty. And then I'm going to just simply really take my time to gently and curiously explore the space around it. And then very gradually making my way kind of toward it. It's like, I tell my clients sometimes, like, imagine that you're walking into a lake, so you're just very bit by bit through the sand, through the water, down deeper. I think a lot of people they have a sensation, they want to jump right into it, and then it scares the bejesus out of them, and they're like, fuck this. So really why I wanted to do this video is that to demonstrate that you can be very slow and gentle with your sensations that feel really big. So after you explore the space around it, then you can just very slowly kind of go into the sensation, just bit by bit. Again, there's a lot of different techniques to use here on how to do this. Sometimes people imagine different scenarios. It's like shedding a flashlight, just to see what's here, curiously. Other times you can just kind of do it kinesthetically. And just bit by bit, you're going to kind of go into that sensation. I tend to use breath to guide in, but you can use whatever you want. So in general, there's always movement happening. When there's a sensation that feels stuck, it's gonna seem like there's no movement, which is fine. So just stay with the lack of movement. But you might also notice breathing happening, which is movement, and you might also notice a very subtle ebb and flow of movement within the seeming stuckness. So with attention, you're just going to study the qualities and the characteristics that are showing up. Might be temperature. Some of this is really subtle. So for me, I can feel gradations of heat, different kinds of heat that show up depending on where I am in the sensation. There's different textures, qualities like tightness or relaxedness, or intensity or lack of intensity. There's just lots of words you can use, so whatever resonates for you. And you're just going to follow the movements, follow the characteristics. So this sensation here there's no content to it, but if I wanted to find out if there was content that was just under the surface, I could ask questions. In living inquiries, we call these mining questions, but I could say, I could ask the sensation questions like, what's the emotion here? Is it sadness, fear, anger? I can ask if it has something to say to me. I can ask, is it wanting or needing anything? I can ask, is it afraid of something, or what does it think is going to happen? What's the worst that might happen here? You can ask the question, does this seem like a threat or a danger? Is this dangerous to have this sensation here as it is? Does it say something to me, about who I am? Does it point to an identity of who I am? Who you can ask, who is it that's feeling this sensation? Or what's aware of this sensation? Who's aware of this sensation? You can ask the question, if the sensation could talk, what would it say? What would it do? What is it wanting to feel that it's not been allowed to feel? Those different questions might come up over and over in different ways. You can also ask questions like, is it okay that the sensation's here? What's not okay about it being here? What if the sensation stayed like this forever? What would that mean about me, or what would that mean? So you're going to get answers to these questions sometimes, and sometimes not. Sometimes there won't be much content that comes. And other times there's going to be a lot of content that comes. A lot of threats, a lot of dangers. They're always going to show up either as words or images or other sensations. So you can, depending on what works for you, you can kind of take a look at the words that come up, the thoughts that come up, or the images that come up. Maybe memories, stories that would be words and images together. You can kind of take a look and journey into those. If nothing kind of sticks, you can notice the thoughts and images and just let them come and go, let them come and go. If they stay, then that is often useful to go into. If they don't stick, you just keep going in deeper into the sensation, just kind of leaning in deeper. Just letting the sensation kind of guide you, like you're tuning into the sensation, you're leaning into the sensation, like as if to put an ear to the door and listening for what's on the other side, like listening for a pin to drop. You're leaning into the sensation like that, just to see what's with it. And every experience of this or exploration of this is different. So the sensation, you might feel it go in, and like it might feel like it's just bottomless, like you're never going to get to the bottom of it, or it's really intense. You want to just lean into the intensity, lean into the whatever's drawing your attention. If there's a push-pull, you can feel that push-pull. So feel the experientially how that's experienced in the body, in the sensation. And there's lots of different ways to explore the sensation. So maybe going into the center is just you get stuck there. It's too much. So nothing's making you stay there. You can come back to the space around it. You can journey with your attention kind of through it. You can, notice other areas of the body where attention is going and feel the movement that's going through that charged area. You can really play with the breath itself just as the explorative tool to feel the breath and how it's weaving with that sensation. You can experiment the sensation as being quite large, very big, It might feel like it's way larger than a body, and it might feel like it's tiny little, very, stuck in the body. So notice that there'll be images and concepts related to all these things. So just notice what comes with the kinesthetic exploration. It's a lot, almost 19 minutes, so just play around with that if you want. See what's useful.